We all know about peaches.
22 acres here.
Pecans, they're a thing of the past.
And I've got 13,200 trees planted here.
This land is all about the almighty olive.
Olives like it hot and dry.
And Bob Kruger is all about olive oil.
We plant 600 per acre. This is in what's known as a super high density or ultra high density planting.
Olive oil because 98% of the 74 million gallons consumed in the U.S. every year is imported. And when Bob heard that,
believe me, there is money to be made in olive oil.
Green was all he could see.
And you say, well, gee whiz, we're only producing 2% of our own consumption here. That's a tremendous market potential there. It's got new growth coming on right here.
This is a new adventure for Bob.
I'm ready to see this stuff take off.
A learning process for the first-time olive grower.
It's all been just a truly educational process.
These trees aren't even a year old, but already they've shot up like weeds.
But we ought to be looking good this year.
And Bob has faith in a couple of years, we're going to have something to brag about.
We want to keep it so that it becomes more like a hedge, if you would.
So just how big do these trees really get? Well, this one here is about 3 years old. It's 6 feet tall. It hasn't started producing fruit yet. That actually won't come for about another year.
There's a demand for good olive oil. I mean, once you taste really good olive oil, you'll never go back to buying it off the shelf in the store again.
So while they may not be ripe for the picking yet,
I think Georgia has really good potential for developing olive oil.
Now to a story you will see only on 41 NBC. I took a trip to Savannah to check out Gulfstream Aerospace, the company that makes the world's most luxurious personal airplanes. I got an exclusive look at how the planes are made and the impact the company has on our state's economy. Welcome to Gulfstream Aerospace, creator of arguably the world's most premier and luxurious personal aircraft. Airplanes made 100% here in our great state of Georgia, made with precision, quality, style, and technology unmatched by any other winged crafter in the world. In this story, I'm going to take you on a tour of the latest and greatest airplane to be produced by Gulfstream, the G650. I'll take you through the process of how these planes are painstakingly created, their design, their capability, and what puts them above the competition. And the best part is, it is all done right here in Savannah, Georgia. Now when the planes start, they're nothing but sheet metal. They're green because they haven't been painted yet. Each piece is hand riveted, precisely put together here in this 33,000 square foot building built exclusively for the G650.
We eventually form the barrel, and then we load that barrel, we put in all the electrical wires, the hydraulics, all the various systems throughout the aircraft, and then we bring those 5 barrels together and we join those 5 barrels to make a fuselage. And from there, and you can see the fuselage right behind me, from there we take that fuselage and we set it on the wing, and then from there we also put on the engines, the tail, the gear, and essentially we take this from a bare panel to by the time it flies off the end, or it comes off the end of the line, it's ready to go fly.
Now to get to know this plane, you have to get to know this company. These engineers and workers, they are the best of the best.
We have an incredibly talented workforce. It is a team environment. We have amazing folks that come from all around Georgia and all over the country that come here to work.
And when you look at the final product, it is obvious to see.
It's the best in the world.
But what makes the Gulfstream the best? Part of it is the engineering of the plane. This aircraft boasts numbers that make even the most fuel-efficient hybrid vehicles jealous. How about flying 7,000 miles on a single tank of gas? For example, if you were to fly a commercial airline from, let's say, Philadelphia to London, it's a trip that would have at least one stop and it would require a full day of travel. But on the G650, try 6.5 hours. And when you look at the inside of one of these planes, no expense is spared. These planes have all the bells and whistles to make flying in one the most comfortable and relaxing flight that 99% of us will never experience. From leather interiors, full kitchens, polished countertops, and flat-screen TVs, this plane will do for you what most houses can't even offer. And all of it, you guessed it, is built right here in Georgia.
It's truly an amazing process. Watching people take components that aren't really that sexy and turning them into a work of art.
A work of art is an understatement. These planes go from a sheet of metal and then turn into a one-of-a-kind machine. And they even have a simulator for us wannabe pilots to try out.
Well, I want to free fly.
Go for it. You're doing fine. And then when you get finished with that, roll back to the left, pull push forward, and then as you roll to high bank left, pull back on the yoke a little bit to maintain altitude. You're doing great. You only gained a few feet on that turn.
You think I could fly a plane?
Certainly, especially this airplane.
It's easy enough, anybody could do it, huh? Even somebody like me.
Oh, you're doing very well for having, what, 30 seconds of
About 35 seconds, yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
And anyone who knows Gulfstream knows it's luxury. Not only do you get leather interior with carpet so soft it's almost a sin to wear shoes inside, when you step inside a Gulfstream and shut the door, this is what you notice. And that comes from this man, John Maxson, the sound mixer, or, well, maybe we should just call him the sound eliminator. It's his job to make sure when you're flying at 47,000 feet and nearly the speed of sound, all you hear is silence.
The idea there is we're going to get the quietest interior that we can.
And it all starts here in this extremely soundproof room. Not only are they quiet when you're flying, you can't even tell you're moving. There is almost no vibration, no noise, nothing to indicate you're actually traveling. You might as well be at your home office, which is exactly the point. And you don't need me to tell you, it all comes from here in Georgia.
We don't rely on anyone else to give us material properties, to do our analytical predictions. We've decided that doing that in-house is the most effective way of actually producing the product that we want to produce.
And what would a company be without customer support? Mitch Choquette is the man in charge here. 24-hour assistants, expert pilots and technicians who are always on call and will literally fly anywhere in the world anytime should your plane need repairs of any kind. Something your car dealer won't even do for you.
We're number one in the industry, and we take this very seriously by giving this level of support to them. We want them to reach out to us. We want to share information with them as we learn the information which makes them more successful in what they do day to day.
So with all this technology, all this know-how, all the customer support, the capabilities to fly nonstop for 7,000 miles at 90% the speed of sound, the question remains, who owns these kinds of planes? Turns out, a surprising number of people, but Gulfstream won't tell you who. Customer privacy is top priority around here. But here's the inside scoop. If you want one, you won't get one anytime soon. The G650 will run you a cool $50 million, and you're going to have to get in line. There is a waiting list of several years because so many are being ordered and made. So what makes a Gulfstream a Gulfstream?
We pay that extra attention to the detail.
It should be no surprise to you Georgians.
I would say our people.
It's our people.
And that's how a Gulfstream is made in Georgia. And a big thank you to Gulfstream Aerospace for letting me spend 2 days with them there at their facility. So what do the numbers look like? Well, Gulfstream, they employ more than 8,500 people. And get this, last year alone, they spent more than $1 billion in the state of Georgia. Well, coming up next week, I'm going to take us to another company with a very unique product. I'm going to give you a tour of Babyland General Hospital. That's the place where Cabbage Patch Kids are born. Yes, they are born, they are not made. My series of products exclusively made in Georgia continues next Monday from Cleveland, Georgia.